Okay. Just roll the shoulders up, back, and down a few times. Keep your neck relaxed so that the neck and head can respond to what you're doing in your shoulders. And then just place your shoulders in a comfortable position where you feel your chest is opening, some stretch at the nipple line of the body. Just let your elbows soften and relax. And while doing all of that, making sure you're still lifted through your spine, drawing up from the back of your spine to the crown of your head without lifting your shoulders. And then just release your arms down by your side. And as you keep lengthening up through your spine, keep your chin parallel to the floor. And then just gently, like you have weights in your hands, gently let your arms draw downwards. Not so that it pulls your spine down, but just so you are like resisting that upward movement a bit, building the strength in the muscles around your spine, in your core, but also trying to just kind of bringing back good posture into your body memory. And then just relax your arms forward onto your knees and kind of lean forward. Start with some cat-cow. Start really deepening your breath in your cat-cow, so elongating that exhale and pulling your navel back as you round your back. Letting your inhale come in as you arch. Spending a little more time on the exhale, pulling that navel back, even holding it just for a second or so before you let that inhale in. Notice how full the inhale is without you even having to work at it. We want to, do a little bit more intentional movement with the exhale. Really let the inhale just kind of flow back in, kind of like turning a faucet off or putting a kink in the hose, I think would be a better way to say it. Not turning the faucet off, having your faucet turned on full blast, but then putting a kink in it to stop it. Then when you're ready for an inhale, imagine letting go of that kink and that air, that water just rushes in. And if you can get some sense of that in your body, notice the sensations and the energetic effect of that inhale. And last one, inhaling. Last one, exhaling. Coming back to sit up in that really nice tall spine. Dropping the arms by the sides and just letting the fingers be gently pulled down through gravity. So the elbows actually straighten while you keep your spine long and lifted. Feel the tension in the shoulders beginning to let go, release. And then bend at the elbows, bring the hands to the heart. Press the palms into one another. Now just gently reach your elbows out away from your hands. Look to feel it up in your collarbones and let the collarbones open. And breathe, lengthen the spine. Lift the chest. And then just drop the chin. Don't drop your chest. Feel the stretch in the back of the neck. Relax your shoulders again. Really relax between your shoulder blades. Draw down. Salute the teacher within. And then release your hands. Back to your knees. Separate your feet. Circle your hips. Just let yourself kind of fall into this circling. No, don't even think so much about the breath or lengthening the spine. This is simply a way to warm the hips. And then release the low back. And it just generally feels pretty lovely. Reverse direction. Finish this last circle. Come back. Come right back to that tall spine. Shoulder blades back and down. Draw your hands up to your hip creases. Pull your elbows straight back. Lift up your navel. Now, notice if you start to become stiff, you don't want to be stiff. You do want to be very intentional with how you are placing your body. Feelings that come with that kind of intentionality. Draw your navel back a little bit. Let all of your brain cells drop down into your heart center. And then release the arms down. Take them forward. Interlace your fingers. And turn the palms out. Now bend the elbows and put the back of the hands on the crown of your head, a little behind, closer to the back. Relax your shoulders down, but lift your spine up. Tailbone heavy. Now pull your elbows back. Don't push your head forward. Just pull your elbows back. Lift your chest. Feel that stretch. Now go to the upper back where your shoulders meet your neck and see if you're tensing there. See if you're tightening there. Relax it. Soften. Exhale. Let it go. So find the balance between the effort and the release. And then bring the arms down. Change the interlace. Take the palms away. Bend the elbows out to the side. Take the hands back to the top of the head. Palms up. Lift through the front of your spine. Keep your hips, your pelvis, the back of your pelvis heavy. Relax your shoulders. Relax at the base of your neck. Don't relax along your spine. Lift up. Pull the elbows back without pushing your head forward. Re-soften the tops of the shoulders. And release. Stretch your arms straight down. Fingers open. And just grab hold of whatever is there on your chair. Slide forward just a bit. Now keep your chin up. So a lot of times when we do this pose, I notice that people drop their head or pull their chin down. Or, they're not staying long in the upper back. So roll your arm bones out. So you're turning the eyes of the elbows away from your body. Lift your chest up, draw your navel back, then fall forward. You don't need to go very far before you really feel the stretch. Now try to elongate the back of the neck through the back of the head as you hold your tailbone down. Make sure you're breathing and keep your front ribs flush with your belly. Don't let them jut out. Your chest up. Now, holding this position of your torso, release your arms and start to go forward, bringing your hands to the outer ankles. Keep the spine long. Now bring your arms up beside your ears. Reach. Pull back on your shins. Now lower your fingers towards the floor. And then raise them up by your ears. Reach as you pull back with your shins and your hips. And then come back down. This time, anchor your lower body first. And then as you raise your arms, pull your whole spine towards your fingers. And then lower and sit back up. And hands to the thighs. Roll your shoulders back and down. Stay tall. Keeping that chest up, drop your chin. Hold your arm bones back and down and start to glide the chin along the line of your collarbones up to each shoulder. Alternating, going from side to side in this kind of half circle. Keep holding the arm bones back. Don't let them creep forward. They will want to. So pull your elbows back. Get your hands closer to your pelvis. Now, if you're able, make the full circle of the neck and head. But be very mindful of going too far. So it's best to go a little less at first. Slowly make bigger circles if it makes sense for you. And reverse direction. Keep the chest up. It's gonna want to fall. It's very challenging to keep the spine lifted and all the muscles along the spine that do that work. It's hard to keep that going the entirety of an hour. That's really what we're being directed or guided to do, is to strengthen these core muscles. So when you notice that they're collapsing, bring them back. Come back to mountain pose. Tall spine, soft shoulders, relax the top of your shoulders. Relax your elbows. Drop your tailbone. Okay, let's twist. But you're twisting with this tall spine. Doesn't matter how far you go, so long as it's the right amount for you. Pull the front ribs back. Pull the floating ribs back. Pull them back and turn. Pull them back and turn. And release. Come back to the front. Now, bring your hands again back up to your pelvis. Elbows back. Lift up. Go up through the crown of your head. Drop your tailbone. Lift your low back. Use your legs. Keep that length. Turn. Turn from those low ribs. So it's not like you need to be, real careful with your body. You get it in a good, open, supported position, you can do all kinds of things that, might be dangerous if you weren't really creating the foundation for it. So once you create that foundation for the twist, you get that length. You get that awareness of the ribs and the breath. Then you can turn much further. So pull the front ribs back, turn. Relax your shoulders. Lengthen up through the back of your neck. And again, turn. And release. Bring your hands back close to your hip crease. Pull your elbows straight back towards the back of your chair. Now lift up through your spine. And think of the spine three-dimensionally. So you're lifting from the front of the spine and the back of the spine. Okay, stand up. Get your bolster with 2 blocks. Start to open the legs a little bit more because we've been working them in spite of sitting in the chair. Still been activating them, using them to help us to lift our spine. That's why, our leg strength is really important. Without it, our spines cannot lift. They just collapse. Vertebrae begin to run together. We get that, what everybody just thinks of as just normal, the degeneration of the vertebra of the spine. It's not normal. It's not necessary. Okay, take your blocks and put them the front of your chair legs, or the front chair legs. And let's just start to stretch the back of the legs. So let's start with the legs wide. So if you're on a mat, make your feet as wide as your mat and get the little toe inside the edge. Don't let it go over the edge, but also get the outer heel all the way to the edge. So the outer foot is straight. Okay. Now push your thighs back a bit and lift them up. Lift, lift, lift. And from there, drop your tailbone and try to lift your spine again. I'm going to be saying it until you're like, yeah. Okay, take the arms up. Now, as you take the arms up, see if you can feel the arms actually lifting the flesh of your legs up. Connect those two things. And then come forward and just put your hands on your bolster. Pull your shoulder blades down your back. Now flip your hands over so that you're on the back of your hands. Lift the floating ribs up. And let your elbows bend. And as the elbows kind of go down, pull your chest forward. So you're kind of arching your back, let your elbows bend, let them bend down, down, down. Pull your chest forward, lift your navel, activate your legs again, lift them up. Now pull your pubic bones back behind you. Pull them back between your legs, pull them way back. Now, keep your arm bones from the shoulder turned out, but flip your hands over and place your hairline, if you can, on your bolster. And then release your hands down to your blocks. Roll those arm bones out again. Turn your hands out if you need to. Flip them over if you need to, just to get the feeling. And then flip them back. Now, knees lifted, thighs active, press them back and pull your spine forward. Try to get your head more on the bolster. And if the bolster is too low for you, get blankets and stack blankets on top of your bolster until it works. Don't cheat yourself. Now just easy breathing. Keep your elbows soft, not bent here though, just soft. Shoulder blades pull towards your hips, but still reaching through the crown of your head. Strong legs, lifting up. And then bring your hands back to your bolster. Push down to lift. Heel toe your feet back and walk in. Standing all the way up. Okay. So turn around to sit on your bolster. Remember, if this doesn't work for you, then you can use 2 chairs with the seats together. Bring your blocks closer to one another, even touching. Pull them back underneath your bolster so that when you put your feet on them, your knees are going beyond your ankles. And sit way back on the back of your bolster. And put your hands on your thighs. Now, at this point, hopefully you're not, overworking anything. But you should at least be pretty aware of the weirdness of this position. This isn't something we do all the time. Okay, so I want you to first begin to just push down into the blocks with your feet and pull the shin bones back. And I want you to feel what that does up higher in your body to your navel and your low back. Okay, see if you can feel how that just communicates to this part of the body that it too needs to light up. That it's not now just hanging around, relax. Your leg action is sending a message up. Okay, now reach your arms forward. Now the legs will have to really engage. So get that message up to your navel, drawing it back, keeping your hips back as you reach forward. Feel those legs active, active, active. You're not just sitting here. And then release, because if your legs are really working, you don't hold that very long, right? You need a break. So just take a couple of breaths. Now this next time, I'm pretty sure everybody's feeling it in their leg. They're feeling their legs work, right? Anybody not feeling your legs? Okay, so we're gonna go more now up. So we'll trust that we'll do that. But now we're gonna focus a little bit more, a little higher up around the middle part of the body. Okay, so go ahead and come forward into that same shape. Now, I want you to draw your navel back and push your tailbone down. Push your tailbone down like you're gonna take it behind your bolster. And just feel what that does. It doesn't change anything in the legs, right? It just makes you more stable in your waist and lower rib area. Relax. Okay, so that's the two parts of that pose. So now we're gonna move up here. Gonna move up higher. So we gotta get the base, the middle, and then we'll add the rest of it. So go back to where you were. Remembering to take your tailbone down as you pull your navel back. Now pull your arm bones back. Just pull the arm bones back so your shoulders are no longer like so forward of your hips. And pull your head back and then lift your chin up. Keep those ribs back, keep the navel back, and relax. Okay, so got all three parts, right? Okay. Take a couple of breaths. And then we'll do the whole pose. Now, the other option, and it's up to you, but just, the whole pose is all that we've done, but taking the arms up by the ears and looking up. But you do you. Okay, so here we go. Push down with your feet, shins back, tailbone down, navel back. Reach your arms forward, pull the head of your arm bones back into the socket. Keep leaning forward. So this is either your whole pose, with the exception of lifting the chin, or take your arms up. Strong, strong pose. Pull your ribs back and then release. Okay, let's come off. And just widen your blocks again to be as wide as your chair legs. Okay. So stand with your feet as close as they can be without, being too close so that your inner knees are uncomfortable. So be in a comfortable distance, not too wide, close as you can be. Now, get your weight back into your heels and drop your tailbone. Try to elongate through your spine. Take your arms forward to about shoulder height and pull the arm bones back and down. Now raise the arms up another 25%. Stay back on your heels. Now start to bend from your hip crease. Then bend your knees. And you're in chair pose without the chair. So tailbone down, shins back, heels down. Pull your navel back, pull your shoulders back, ribs back. Now elongate that front part of your torso and take the arms and the head up if you can. Take a couple of breaths and push down to stand up and release your arms. Okay. Now take your right foot forward, step your left leg back. Pelvis is facing your chair. Put your hands on your bolster. And just pause and feel. Now roll your arm bones out. So maybe turn your palms further out so that the arms roll out. Try to feel it up there at the shoulders. Now bend the elbows straight back. See if you can bring your forehead onto your bolster. Pause. Take a breath. Now, you can either release your hands down to your blocks or leave them up on the bolster. Now kind of get a sense of your whole body from the inside. Kind of try to feel the shape, where it is in space, the relationship between your legs, how they're different, how they are similar. Get a sense of your pelvis and the position of your pelvis. And then your trunk and your arms. Now, see if you can get a sense of where the weight is in the pose. Is it forward toward your head or is it back in your legs? If you're like most people, it's going to feel like it's more in your head. So I want you to pull your hips back. Pull them way back and at the same time elongate through your spine. Reach the crown of your head towards the back of your chair. And as you're doing that, keep those shoulders down away from your ears, drawing more towards your hips than your head. Roll the arm bones out. Now, if you've got your hands on your blocks, flip your blocks up on their highest end. Be strong in your legs and take your arms way out to the sides with your hands up. Now, what does this do? It kind of helps us to feel our ribs. So try to lift the front ribs up and push your hips back. And then bring the blocks back and bring your hands to your bolster, push yourself up and bring your legs back together. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So hands to the hips, left leg forward, right leg back. And hands to the bolster, roll your arm bones out. Just hold it and feel. Notice how this side is similar or different than the other. Slowly bend the elbows and bring the forehead down if you can, either to the bolster or the blankets. And then put your hands on your blocks. Now draw the legs, all of the muscles of the legs up into your pelvis and then push back. Maybe notice how that's different. I didn't say that on the other side. I just said push your hips back. I didn't tell you to lift your legs up before you push back. Did that make any difference for you? Now draw your shoulder blades down your back and elongate. Lift your head and reach it forward and then put it back down. Now put your blocks up on their highest end and take your arms really wide, making you use your legs more. Push back, Lift your ribs up. And then bring the blocks back. Bring your hands up to your bolster, push down. Come up about halfway. And then step in and stand up. Okay, let's move the bolster off to the side. And the blocks. And let's take downward facing dog. So put your hands on the side of your chair with your fingers wrapping over the sides. Okay, so why do that? We do that to remind our shoulders to roll out, remind the arms to roll out. We want to get as much opening in the chest as you engage the upper back through the arms. So now start to walk back and bring your head between your arms if you can. Come up onto your toes and walk your feet back a little more. Now reach your heels straight back, not down, back. And feel how that elongates through your spine. Then see if you can drop the outer heels closer to the ground. Keep your front ribs lifted. Head stays in line with your arms. And then walk in and stand up. Okay. Is everybody doing okay? Okay. So just turn to the side. Let's do a quick side stretch. So turn to the side, take your right foot up into your chair or onto a block if this is too high. Make sure that your knee is in line with your heel, not way forward. You don't want your foot way back like this. This puts a lot of strain on the hips. Oof. So you want the foot out. So you got a wide space. And that way you can stand up out of this hip. So lift up, roll this thigh out. Engage this outer hip. You should be able to, touch that and feel that it's hard. So it's not up here at your waist, it's down here in this glute muscle. Spread your arms. Now hold this outer glute really tight. Bring your arm to the inner right knee. Side bend, slide your hand down. Bring the other arm over. Now re-engage that glute on the outer left hip. Push it to the right. Push it. Push it even more. Don't turn your trunk towards the right. Turn your trunk to the left. Out of the twist that your bottom body is doing. Spread your chest open. Pull your arm bones back. Inhale, come up. Lower your arms. Bring your leg down. Get your chair on your other side. Bring that left leg up. Give yourself space. Now, take your tailbone down. Remember mountain pose. So as you start to work with your mountain pose in this asymmetrical position of the body or your legs, the standing leg is still in mountain pose now. So, but because you're asymmetrical, try to roll your right thigh out. Roll it out. That will engage this outer glute. So that muscle in here is what rolls that leg out. So roll it out strongly. Then get tall through your spine. Take the arms out. Hand to the inside of the left knee. Now push that glute. Right glute to the left, but resist back with your left shin. Pull back with the left shin. Push with the outer right hip. Right glute. So you're really trying to roll your thigh out. So imagine that you're trying to turn your foot out, but without moving it. So it's counter clockwise, that you're trying to turn your foot. Inhale and come back. And come out. Now, notice if you feel your hips. Can you feel that you worked your outer hips or your butt? And it's not your big glute muscles. It's not this big. It's the little gluteus medius. That is your stabilizer muscles. That's what keeps you from falling. That's what keeps you from rocking from side to side, or these muscles. Okay? Let's sit. Come back. With all the same awarenesses you had before we stood up. So make sure your hands are back by your hip crease. Elbows pointing back towards the back of your chair. Feel the width across your collarbones. And then elongate, lift up through your spine, kind of pulling your waist in towards the spine. And when I say that, I mean all the way around, the full circumference of your waist. Draw it in towards your spine and lift it up. Do that with the sit bones grounded, tailbone grounded. Take the arms up, reach, and come forward. Now, when you get all the way over, I want you to relax. Notice how it feels to let go through your back and through your stomach. And if you haven't let go of your head, let go of your head and even tuck your chin towards your chest. Take your hands to your thighs, push down to come up. And again, let's turn the head to the left. And turn the head to the right. And again to the left. And to the right. One more. Back to the center. Take your right arm across and hook it with your left. Relax that left shoulder, that right shoulder down as you lift through your spine. Lift your pelvic floor. Lift your navel. Keep lifting all the way up. Take your left ear to your left shoulder. So feel how heavy that right arm is getting. If it doesn't feel heavy, you're probably still holding a lot of tension in that shoulder. See if you can relax. let go. Notice your resistance and work with your resistance. Say what you need to hear in order to let go. Bring the head up and release. Other arm. Let it be heavy. Stay tall. Take your right ear to your right shoulder. Drag that waist in. And release. Separate your legs, circle your hips. Go the other way. And one last rotation, come back up. And bring your legs together. So now you need a block and your chair, another chair. You're going to put your chair over to the right. Actually get both of your blocks. And sitting in your chair, take your blocks. I really don't know exactly how much height that you're gonna need. I'm gonna put both of my blocks stacked on top of one another. And I'm kind of putting them out to my right, right in front of my chair. And then I'm just gonna take my right leg out to the right. And part of what this is about, this piece of it, is to find out exactly where the chair and blocks need to be. So if I'm sitting, you want to be sitting, squared in your chair, then take your leg up onto the blocks. And if you could go wider, take your blocks out wider and your chair and restretch. And just keep doing that until you get to what works for your body. Also the distance. Okay. So find that. And you want part of how you know is you want your pelvis to be able to continue to turn out of the leg. So it's turning away from the right and that you can still face your torso forward. Okay. Now just slide your hand down towards your chair. Slide back up. Turn your trunk more to the left, head to the left, slide your hand down. And come back up. Do that again. Turn to the left, slide to the right. Come back up. Now turn and hold. Breathe. Now turn your attention to your left leg and just notice, would any adjustment to that leg make this feel more stable? So in other words, sometimes we bring our heel too far back and that will make our backs work instead of the hips. So you might try moving that foot a little more forward. Now reach your left hand back behind your chair and pull with your arm. So I'm using my palm on the back of my chair back and pushing it forward to kind of open me up a little bit more on the front as I'm reaching. And then slowly come back. And just bring that leg down for a moment. Now just observe all the sensation around your waist and your hips. And sometimes we're in a pose and we feel certain things, that are stretching or whatever. But we don't necessarily notice how it affects everything when you come out. And that's the more powerful thing is when you come out. Where do you feel it? It's not going to be the same thing you felt while you're in it. Okay, so let's go back again. This time, excuse me, we're going to take the left leg way out and we're going to turn the trunk towards the leg and we're going to walk down. Okay, so I want you to particularly reach with the left hand. So I'm actually reaching all the way into my chair seat. So let your chair kind of be a goal. You may or may not get there. And then rotate those left ribs down towards the floor. Down, 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 down. Keep dropping them down. Reach, drop them down. Reach, drop them down. And inhale, make your way back up. Bring that leg back. Oof, deep stretches. Let's turn to the other side. So the side's going to be different than the first side, so you'll have to do all of that measuring again and find what is the right distance, the right width. So I didn't say this, but I have my toes resting on the front edge of my chair seat, on my heels up on my block. So that kind of gives me a little bit of a, I don't know, just more connection. Okay, so make sure that this right leg is good. And then turn your trunk more to the right as you slide your hand down to the left. And come back. Notice how it's different. Notice how, where you feel it, it's probably different. Maybe better, maybe the same, just different, but not different in a good or a bad way. Turning your waist to the right as you roll down to the left. Then hold it there. Take your right hand, put it behind the back of your chair. Push that back of the chair forward so that it opens your chest and turns you. So I've got my hand way up on the top of the back of the chair, not down low because you won't get any leverage there. You need it to be up high on the top of the back of the chair, coming from the shoulder, pulling back to turn the ribs, turn the collarbones. Let the head kind of drop back. And then come back up. Oof. Now, take the right leg a little wider. Turn your trunk towards the left leg. Both hands on the thigh. Turn your waist towards your leg. Slide down. Reach even further with your right hand. And come back up. Turn your waist a little more. Press that right thigh out. Slide down. Reach with your right hand even further. Put it up on the chair if you can reach it. Left arm's not as critical or as important. Get it forward as much as you can. Relax your neck. Relax your shoulders. Now start to turn your rib cage on the right side towards the floor. Let it go down. Take a deep inhale, elongate, and then soften the ribs down. Elongate and soften the ribs down. And then come back up. Oof. Legs back. Wow. Hmm. Sometimes, when I go really deep like that, like all the contents of my mind just empty. You kind of just have to wait for a moment. So as our last pose, I want to do that supported child's pose because I just like it so much. So both chairs unbolster. Pulling the front edge of your second chair right up between your legs. And then putting your bolster between your thighs. And then going forward, letting your ribs rest on the bolster. And either being on your forehead or turning your head to one side. And just relax. And give all of your weight to your bolster. And if you have your head turned to one side, turn it to the other side. And then go ahead and come back up. Bring your hands together at your heart. Bowing the head, thank yourself for taking this time. May we have faith to know the divine enriches us, invigorates us, is present with us throughout our day. Namaste. Okie doke, guys. Thank you for being here. And so there is one class next week on Tuesday. No class, obviously, on Thanksgiving or Saturday, and then we'll be right into December. So, and I am taking off the whole week of Christmas through, not the Saturday before Christmas. We'll have class that day, but then we won't meet again until the Tuesday or whatever the first, I can't remember exactly how things fall. Oh, I think it's weird this year. We will meet the Tuesday after Christmas. And then I think the next day I'll do it cooking. Say?
I said, I think the 3rd is the first Tuesday because December the 1st is Sunday.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that right?
Yeah, and then the first Tuesday is the 3rd.
Okay.
I think that's how it goes.
No, Wednesday is the 1st. Tuesday is the 30th, is New Year's Eve.
So what is the 1st of December? What day?
1st of December is Sunday.
That's
Sunday.
what I'm talking
No,
about.
I'm talking about Christmas. holiday.
Yeah,
So I'm just saying that we won't be having a class from Monday, the 23rd, all the way till Thursday, the 2nd. Okay.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
And just because of the way the holiday falls.
I know.
And with Christmas, New Year's Eve being on that Tuesday, we're not gonna have class that day. So we'll have class on the 2nd. I mean, on the, yes, on the 2nd, Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
okay. Take good care, have a good weekend, and I hope to see you Tuesday. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.